Well, in our last episode, we left our hero caught on the horns of a dilemma, wrapped in an enigma, in a state of confusion as to why this beautiful Norton fastback just won't start. Good spark, freshly cleaned carburetor, ignition dead nuts on, perfect timing, all external reasons perfectly set. So we're going to do a little more work here this morning. First of all, the client's coming by in a couple hours, and we're going to talk about the bike. The engine came to me in the frame. It was a frame and an engine, basically, and I put the rest of the bike together. Now, this engine has clearly been overhauled. It's in pristine shape internally. You can look inside and see the top of the pistons. You can look at the valves there. Everything about it is clean. I've noticed two things. First of all, in the previous start attempt with Kevin and I, and in yesterday's start attempt with me just kicking it over until my knee gave out, I'm still not getting return oil in this oil line. I would think with all the kicking we've done and making sure that there is oil in the sump, that there should be return oil in that line by now. So that's a question. I don't know if it's a true question or not. We'll see what happens. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to ask the client, we're going to talk about it. When the engine was overhauled, was the timing cover taken off? Was the cam timing adjusted, changed, fixed? Anything having to do with the cam timing of the engine. Second, right now, before he gets here, I'm going to go ahead and take these covers off the valves, front, and maybe even rear. It's kind of difficult to get up there without lifting the tank, and see if I have good valve action. Am I going to see the valves going up and down as I turn the motor over with the rear wheel, which is why I have it jacked up in the air. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to start the exploration of possibilities of having to go into the engine, because frankly, at this point in time, I've pretty much eliminated all of the external reasons why the bike won't start. So it's going to take me, it's 10:30 now, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the front covers off these, off the engine, and see if the exhaust valves are going up and down the way they're supposed to. And I might even do a compression test. I know there's compression because I about killed my knee yesterday kicking this bike over. But let's see how much. And then once I've confirmed that the front valves, the exhaust valves, are working, then I might reach way up under there and get that valve cover off the back of the engine and take a look at the intake valves, clearances and actions. So things are getting complicated and complexer with the no start on this bike, but we're going to keep working on it. That's where we stand. All right, quick follow-up. I just jacked the bike up in the air, put it in fourth gear, kicked it over, got good top dead center, and both of the exhaust valves are set to a nice sloppy 8 right there. Okay, and not a lot of, there's no clearance there when I do that, but it's a nice casual 8. That's perfect for a fresh engine. So that's what an 8 sounds like. So both the exhaust valves are working perfectly. So now I'm going to get up in here and check out the intakes. It'll be fun. All right, second follow-up. I have the engine set to top dead center, and I was able to get into the intakes, and there's a 6/1000. Let's see if I can get my fingers in here while I'm doing this and get it to focus. Difficult. Let's see what happens here if I do this. Does that help any? Anyway, this is just about a perfect 6 in here on both the intakes. So I don't know how to focus it down. Wish I knew more about this. Anyway, these intakes are set to a perfect sloppy 6. Nice casual 6, no extra. And let's see if I can let you hear what a 6 sounds like. Can you hear that? Go to the other side. See if we can get a better focus from this angle. Well, unfortunately, I'm working on the other cylinder, so I can't show it to you. But anyway, that's a nice 6. Okay, the valves are set to 6 and 8. And there we go. I'm going to kick the engine over a couple times now. Watch the valves. I know they're going up and down because I set them top to center. Okay, we continue. All right, I've lowered the bike down to the ground. It's in neutral. I have the compression gauge in the right-hand cylinder. I'm going to hold the throttle wide open and kick the bike through 10 times and see what kind of reading we get on the compression gauge. Stand by, I will give you the results. Actually, I decided to let you watch me wear my sorry old self out doing 10 kicks. Now the plugs are out, so there's no compression on the other side. So let's see what happens when I give it 10 good kicks. I think that was 11. 60 pounds. 60 pounds compression. That's scary. But it's also a brand new engine. So let's go to the other side. You know, 60 pounds. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. All right, let's start this. Oh, sorry, I left the video running. Okay, I'll go give it 10 good kicks on the left side. Okay, that's 10 or 11. Let's see what we have. Oh boy. All right. Another 60 pounds. Okay, so that's very low. But once again, it's a brand new engine. The rings have not seated. I've had bikes like this where low compression until you start them, and then the ring seat, and they pop right up to 110, 120 pounds. This is not a crisis at this point. The valves are working. We've got compression, albeit quite low, and all external systems seem to be proper. Now what I'm going to do now, this is weird, but I'm going to put the bike back up in the air, take the carburetor off again, and stick my fingers into the intake track. I'm hoping that there's no such thing as a rag stuck down inside the intake ports by some conscientious person that was left there for reasons, you know, to keep crawly little insects out. I'm just going to go check the intake track and see what happens. So at this time I will remember to stop the video. I'm going to go close up the valve covers, put the bike up in the air, close off the valve covers, pull the carburetor off, and check the intake manifold. Okay, I'm grasping at straws here. All right, well, I've got the carburetor hanging loose, and I've got a screwdriver inserted all the way down into the intake tract, and there's no errant mechanics rags in there. And I did both sides. This side's a little bit more difficult because there's things in the way, but I got it all the way down into there too. So there's no nothing stuffed into the intake tract. While I've got the carburetor hanging loose, I'm just going to pull the lid off, and I'm going to take the gas line off and take it apart again. Keep in mind, I have no hesitancy to say I might have screwed something up. I mean, human error, I'm quite capable of being human and making errors. So I'm going to go through the carburetor one more time, and then double and triple check the timing one more time. We've got spark. We've got some compression. Not enough for me to want to tear this engine down. Bikes will start like this, or at least backfire and give me some indication they want to start. So still working on the old conundrum, working away. All right, well, I got the carburetor off. You can see by the gasoline leaking out of it. It did have gas in it. So don't have a gas flow problem. Let's take it apart and take a look inside one more time. All right, all the individual parts are out and cleaned. I've gone through the body, and I have a rubber tip on a spray can of carb cleaner, use CRC cleaner carb, and I can use this to blow cleaning fluid through the various and sundry passages, such as the pilot jet passage. You can see it coming out there, right there. And it comes out inside too. And then you can get in here and spray from the opposite direction by going down like this. You can see it coming out the bottom now. You hit this 7 ways to Sunday, every single passage, and pretty well clean out everything. These are beautiful. That's beautiful. I don't know. I'm going to put it back together. I can't find anything wrong with that carburetor. I'm going to put it back together. All right. I just had a meeting with the client. He came over to take a look at the bike. And we both agree that all the external systems on the bike check good. So we decided, and we talked about the internals. The engine was rebuilt top end, pistons, bore, valves, head, all that done by a very talented mechanic. What I found today with the valves working properly, the valve clearance is set perfectly. I have absolutely no reason to want to go into the engine. There's just no sense to it. So since the external systems, the carburetor and the ignition system, are are checking good, we're going to check. We have decided to. He and I have decided. I'm going to swap out the ignition system. It's got a Boyer in it. I love Boyers. I've had a Boyer in my bike. This bike right here. I've had this Boyer in here since about 1975 or so. I mean, I think it goes back that far. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, it's been in there forever and a day and has never missed a beat. So over here, we've got spark, but once again, I've said it before, we've got spark. We just don't know if it's at the exact right time. So I'm going to take out the Boyer and I'm going to lash a vape system to the bike, just with nye ties, and just hang it on there and see if it makes a difference. Now, I am going to wait a few days because I have the tires in shop now over here for this Triumph, and I'm going to get the tires put on this bike, and then the only thing I'll be waiting for will be the fork lock. I actually got a fork lock in, and it was broken from the get-go. It was jammed, so I've ordered another one, and so I'll put the fork lock in and the new tires on, and I think at that point in time the bike will be complete. So I want to get this one done so I can get it out of here, since I have the new tires in stock now. They just arrived. And then I will, by that time I'm hoping Kevin will be back. We'll put a vape system into this bike and do some more kicking. So that's where we are.